What is up, guys, and welcome to the penultimate episode of Season 3 of F1 2019 Career Mode. The gap in the championship is only 7 points between myself and Lucas Weber. My teammate Lewis Hamilton kind of edging away a little bit, like falling behind the pace. 28 points behind Lucas Weber, 21 points behind me heading into this race. The Brazilian Grand Prix, we have now finally maxed out our car. So the final upgrade which went on the car was a fuel consumption upgrade, so the car is going to be more efficient in the race, meaning that we can run a lighter car. So that should hopefully help us in terms of our race pace, especially at the start, where some of our rival teams should be running a heavier car if they don't have an engine that isn't as efficient as ours. But practice pace was pretty good. It always seems to be that way, pretty much through everything on the table there, and hopefully we can maintain that kind of advantage over our teammate. However, it will be very difficult. Hamilton has been very, very fast over the course of the last few races since joining Ferrari, so I'm certainly going to have my work cut out for myself here. But at this stage, we're just going to chuck in the freshest power unit components we have left to give us that extra boost in performance, and hopefully will get us pole position.
Welcome to qualifying here in Interlagos as the cars are readying up for what's likely to be a very important session.
A very important session indeed. This is one that could certainly shape the outcome of the championship. I've got to see if I can beat Lucas Weber in this race, cut into his lead a little bit more. Ideally, I'd win this race. Hamilton would be maybe P2, be a bit of a buffer between myself and Lucas Weber, but we'll wait and see. It could easily go in the favor of Hamilton. I need to make sure that, he doesn't get too much momentum over myself and get himself within a race win of being in striking distance of the championship. That would not be ideal. But realistically for Hamilton, I think at this point he needs a DNF for Lucas Weber, and probably a DNF for myself as well. Ideally, we both need to finish kind of towards the fringer edges of the top 10. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but it was. So there you go. We move on to qualifying 3 now, and we seem to be comfortably making it through to this session. I think Red Bull have made some pretty handy strides as well into this round. I forgot to mention that, but Red Bull certainly look like they have the pace to challenge the top 3 teams now. So that could prove to be extra tricky for Alfa Romeo and Lucas Weber, especially if they can wedge themselves in between myself and himself. But we put in our first lap. It was a pretty good lap, actually, a 1 minute 5.3. That was actually done on my second lap on that set of soft compound tires, literally 200ths away from my teammate Lewis Hamilton, which is interesting. The margins are so damn close, so I really can't guess who's going to get pole position today in this Grand Prix. We'll have to just dig a little deep in this final run here in qualifying. This is actually our second lap on this set of soft compound tires. Wasn't quite good enough, so we're actually going to push for a third and see if we can muster up something on this set of tires. The tires seem to be good for a couple of laps, which is quite interesting as well. It's probably down to the lap around here in Brazil not being too long, so not much life gets taken out of the tires. Lucas Weber moves up into P3 before getting demoted by Max Verstappen now, who puts him at the back end of the second row of the grid. But my first lap I aborted up to the first sector, so I didn't take too much life out of the tires. The second lap I pushed, and this third one here, you can see we're finally starting to see some improvement. 1/10 clear of our previous best. Doesn't get us pole position though. No, it does not. Again, there's literally nothing separating myself and my teammate Lewis Hamilton. We will dominate the front row of the grid. Will Ferrari 1-2. Max Verstappen lodges himself in between myself and championship rival Lucas Weber, which is nice to see, because now that Red Bull are coming to the forefront of the grid now, it makes life a little bit more complicated for Lucas Weber, and hopefully that'll mean they can take points away from him and make life a little bit easier for us here at Ferrari. So a good starting position for the race. I don't know if anyone's going to have any grid penalties for the start of this race. We know that we don't, but who knows, Hamilton or even Weber could be up in the air as question marks. Hopefully not. I want to see a straight fight, so let's go to the grid now and duke it out.
Where there's a will, well, there's a way. And nowhere has that fact been better demonstrated over the years than here at Interlagos. Remember Senna winning while fighting a gearbox that was jammed in 6th? 5 Drivers' Championship deciders in a row between 2005 and 2009. And of course, the passionate Brazilian fans packing the grandstands to capacity every year. And they're not about to stop now. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Let's talk about Day. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
Oh dear. Even the commentators now are starting to pick up on my, well, aggressive habits. I did have a bit of a argy-bargy race with Nico Hülkenberg last time out in the US Grand Prix. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, if the commentators are on the ball with that, then certainly the stewards would probably be keeping an eye on me as well, with my reputation that is starting to build at this stage. So let's hopefully have a clean race today. We are starting from the front, so there's every chance that we should be able to keep it clean. Race strategy will be a one-stop, softs to the mediums, lowering the fuel as we always do. Lighter car, faster car at the end, hopefully maybe getting one less stop versus those around us, but we'll have to wait and see. At this point in the career mode, I think everyone will be doing this, so the advantage we get will be rather minimal, you would have to say. Brazil is certainly less of a tyre wear circuit than Mexico and USA last time out, so we'll see how it all plays out as we get ready to start this race. The Brazilian Grand Prix, second last race of the season, and we are underway with what was a pretty good reaction to the lights, but the wheel spin is just completely unmanageable in this Ferrari at this point. The car is so damn fast, it's got so much horsepower, it is a little bit hard to manage. We already made contact with Charles Leclerc on the run into turn 1, so not really living up to that clean race that I promised you guys, but here we go, trying to make a move on Max Verstappen, who was trying to make a move on Lucas Weber himself. Verstappen gets caught up with Weber, we dive up the inside and move ourselves back onto the podium here in this Brazilian Grand Prix. Look at this, me and Max moved to the outside at the exact same time, so I had to make a late switch back to the inside to take Max's position. Thankfully there was no contact, because that could have easily happened with myself and Max moving to the same position of the circuit at the same time. I had the overspeed on Max obviously, but just had the presence of mind to just kind of move back to the inside to avoid any kind of collision there.
Weber is ahead of you.
Thank you for that one, Jeff. I was trying to figure out at this early stage if Weber had a two-stop race or a one-stop race on the cards, but I guess we'll have to wait a couple of laps before, I don't know, the data starts to build. I don't know. Maybe they wait for the tyre deg numbers to come in, but at this stage, you would have to say that everyone will be on a one-stop, maybe going to the hards. But we are fully committed to switching to the mediums at this race. The tyre wear is that good at this point. But here we go. We're in the slipstream of Lucas Weber, championship rival. We are now getting some DRS, which is going to be an extra little boost as we soar past him on the start finish straight. That is now a 1-2 for Ferrari. Once again, order is restored. Now let's see if we can chase after our teammate Lewis Hamilton. Hang on a second. That's not quite going to be as easier said than done as Lucas comes back around the outside into turn 4. Looks like he's going to get the move done, and he has the inside for the next right-hander. This is not over by any stretch. Lucas Weber wants to take this fight all the way into Abu Dhabi. He is not giving up without a fight. That is a great fight back from Lucas Weber around the outside at turn 4. Well done. I'm sorry for clapping, but you know, you got to applaud the man when he pulls off something that's amazing. Once again, slipstream, DRS, same scenario as we were on the last lap. Hopefully this time we can block him off a little bit better. We dive to the inside at turn 1. Weber has the massive lock up, so we should be able to get this position, but no, Weber turns across us. We've lost our front wing, and our chances of winning this Brazilian Grand Prix are over. Unbelievable scenes. Here's the replay. So we got cluttered into. I wonder if Weber has some front wing damage of his own. Here's kind of a third person view. He runs wide and then he just shuts the door way too late. I think, yes, he's lost some front wing as well. I saw a Shell logo flying off on a side pod. Not a side pod. Jeez, that's the side of the car. Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm triggered. I've lost my composure, not only in terms of the driving, but also in my commentary as well. You know, end plate. That's what I'm talking about. I saw a Shell logo on the end plate. Yes, you guys don't care about that at this stage. We've got a new alternate strategy change. I decided here to stay out just to kind of react to what Lucas Weber was doing. We made contact and lost our front wing a number of laps ago now, but I decided to stick it out and just follow what Weber does. We're now going for a move up the inside into turn 1. This is a carbon copy of when we just made contact a few laps ago, but this time we managed to keep it clean, thankfully. I don't think we can afford any more clutters like that, otherwise we will be DNFing in this race and Hamilton will just be gifted an easy championship. But this time we go up the inside and hopefully this is the move that seals P2. No, it's P3 in this race as Verstappen, out of all of that squabbling, actually got in front of both of us when we had the crash with each other. But here's the replay, up the inside, a bit of contact again. Me and Lucas are really starting to fracture what was once a prospering relationship in F2. Yeah, I don't know that we'll exactly be friends after this race. Kimi Räikkönen is responding, coming in for the early undercuts. We were holding up the cars behind us by a second or more per lap. Myself and Weber, we're really just thinking about trying to get to our pit window so that we can run our normal strategy to the end of the race. We made contact on like, what, lap 5 or 6? And if we stopped at that point, I don't think it would have been a one-stop race. So, yes, we've both stretching it out. We're, for the most part, holding on to our track position, which was P3, P4. But now Lucas is in on lap 14. He's coming in a couple laps earlier than what is prescribed for my strategy. So I'd hazard a guess to say that Lucas is going to switch on to the hard compound tyres, much like his teammate and much like Charles Leclerc a couple of laps ago. But here we are for the front wing change. This is going to hold us up by at least 5 seconds, which is not what we need as well, because Hamilton actually came in on the same lap as what we did, and so we're the best part of 6 seconds, maybe even more behind Lucas Weber. So with the next 20 laps to go in this race, we need to make up a lot of positions to not only catch Weber, to cut into his championship lead. It's all on the line now.
Gap to car in front is 2.3 seconds. Okay, some information on Magnussen. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Drop the fuel mix to lean. We need to start saving fuel. Try shifting the gears a little sooner. This should help us save some fuel. Weber is ahead of you. Just a reminder, we are critical on fuel, probably a lap or so short. We don't need to risk a DNF chasing record. Okay, copy that.
Shut up, Jeff. I do not care about you telling me to save fuel. We've got 10 laps to go in this race, and we need to push this car for all it's worth. Welcome back to Tiametmarduk land. I hope you enjoyed the montage. But anyway, we are back with 10 laps to go in this race. I really shouldn't be laughing. This is actually quite a dire situation we find ourselves in. Lucas Weber is the best part of a second in front of us. So we need to get in front of Perez. We need to jump Weber if we can. Weber is going to do the best job he can to jump his teammate and those in front of him, including the Haas's, the Red Bulls. This could be a big scalp for us today if we can get through the traffic better than what Weber can. Here we go. Oh, nearly a move up the inside of Sergio Perez, who seems to be blocking for all his life, is worth at this stage. And yeah, I think we're in a pretty good position at this race, despite the dire position we're actually in on track. we have the medium tyres on. They're actually holding out really well against everyone who is on hard compound tyres. So again, AI going for this very, very conservative hard compound tyre strategy. My tyres are only at about 25-30% in terms of wear, and there's 8 laps to go in this race. I could have actually put my tyres on a good 5 laps before I actually did. Again, I was a little bit worried about the tyre wear making it to the end. So heading into Abu Dhabi, I don't know, let's just go for an undercut maybe and give ourselves an even better chance of winning, because the tyre on the mediums, at least for the last 2 races, hasn't been anything crazy, to be honest. We get a nice run against Lucas Weber around the outside as we head into the 3rd sector. We might get this move done as we do. P7 now is against our name. Can't really celebrate all too much, as that's only 2 points against our name at this stage. So as it stands in the championship, the gap will be 5 points between myself and Lucas Weber. However, Hamilton is winning this race, and I believe he's actually got a fastest lap against his name. So he'll be well and truly in striking distance if we finish as we are at this stage. Hamilton will get a 20-odd point gain, and he'll be within 5 or 6 points of us in the championship. So we need to continue to pick these guys off and limit the damage that Hamilton is going to get on us today in this race. You can see Raikkonen and Hulkenberg battling side by side. We're going to make this 3 wide on this 2nd straight here, and we get another easy 2 positions by virtue of the straight line speed of this Ferrari is insane. But we're just doing enough in the corners to keep up with these guys. We do have the tyre advantage as well, which certainly helps. Lucas Weber gets himself in front of Nico Hulkenberg as well, which is very critical for his race in the championship. Look, tyre wear, 25%. We've been on them for ages. But anyway, here goes Lucas Weber. He's now getting past his teammate Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen not exactly getting the team orders here. They're actually fighting it away for P5 in this race as Lucas finally slots his way through. But that's been very costly because Lucas has lost the best part of a second, maybe a little bit more to myself. He won't be able to follow me through as I slide past Leclerc on the start-finish straight. And that is P4 for us now. Next up is Devin Butler, who started on the mediums, is now going to finish on the hards, and is proving to be quite a formidable opponent is the Red Bull, with Max Verstappen now in P2, but a long way up the road. So provided we can get in front of Devin Butler here, which we can. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. That is also critical as we get an extra point in this race. We now have 16 points against our name in this championship race. Hamilton will only get 9 off of us if things stay the way they are at this stage. Here we go. Defending against Devin Butler around the outside. Some nice straight line speed there from the Red Bull, which is interesting. They've certainly improved their car a little bit, but 2 laps left to go in this race, and we can't really shake Devin Butler, which is kind of annoying because we actually have much better pace than what he does. He's just kind of there because of the straight lines, or he's there because of the slipstream and the DRS. There's, 2 DRS zones, all within the space of about 60 seconds, so to clear someone by a second is actually quite difficult. So, yeah, he'll just be kind of that annoying thorn in my side for the rest of this race. We've got Luke Leclerc still a bit of a buffer between myself and Weber. So, yeah, we'll be picking up a few points on Weber in today's Grand Prix, so that'll be nice and handy. But, yeah, a great recovery, I would say. We lost a lot of time in that kerfuffling with Weber at the early stages of this race, meaning that Hamilton probably has gained the best part of 20 seconds. He wins the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is crucial for his championship. He will be within striking distance of still winning the thing as we head into Abu Dhabi, which he'll be certainly happy about. Max Verstappen takes P2. He was a long way behind Hamilton, but we are an even further distance behind Verstappen in P3. But it is a very crucial podium.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
P4? What? Who's overtaken me?
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
What the hell is Magnussen doing up there? Can someone please explain why Kevin Magnussen is up on the podium? of all things that do not belong on the podium, Kevin Magnussen is top of the list for that one. He's in a racing point, which is a back marker. Something has happened because Kevin, wow, I'll be seeing that lap. So not only have we been robbed of a podium, we've actually been robbed of a fastest lap as well. So that has cost us 4 points in the Drivers' Championship. I have appealed with the stewards, and they say that the results are final. So, as it stands, we are 1 point behind Lucas Weber heading into the final race of the season. I wish I could say this was scripting, but Codemasters have done it themselves. Hamilton 9 points behind. He's certainly every chance of winning the championship after all that he's been through. The engine failure after switching to Ferrari. His pace has been sublime, but myself and Lucas are doing everything we can to really just kind of prevent each other from winning. It's invited Hamilton back into the fray. Constructors is settled. Alfa Romeo win that, but the Drivers is well and truly up for grabs as we head into the finale.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
No, but arguably you could say it wasn't really my fault.
Devin did much better in today's race than he did in qualifying. Were you expecting that?
Kind of. Red Bull have improved a lot, but you'd have to say that they should be up there now.
You and Devin weren't far apart by the end of the race. How evenly matched are you?
Pretty close, I guess. I don't know.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Kind of felt under pressure with that question. I don't know why, but I felt rushed. But yeah, Red Bull is certainly becoming a formidable opponent. Hopefully the development or the regulation change hits them hard, because we know that we're going to lose a lot of upgrades as we head into Season 4. But Red Bull are just arriving a little too late at this stage to really make an impact on this championship. They could affect things in deciding who wins the championship, but they're not going to do anything for their own results. They're just way too far behind in the standings. If they're lucky, they might win Abu Dhabi, but that's a big if. I think they still need to step it up a little bit more in order to challenge us over the course of a race, because Hamilton really had Verstappen covered in a straight-up fight. But anyway, upgrades. We've got 1,100 resource points to spend. We're going to go for the biggest upgrades we can. If you think about it, it actually makes more sense, points-wise, to consolidate the big upgrades, because you'll actually end up spending more if you have to buy them again next season. So we're going to protect those if we can. We've got 200 left. Ideally, I'd like to go for a weight reduction upgrade. Unfortunately, those weight reduction upgrades are actually quite expensive to protect. So we're going to go for downforce, and we're going to go for the rear, because I feel like rear downforce is actually more important than the front. Having a stable car is very, very handy. But there we go. That is the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Heading into the finale, myself and Lucas Weber are separated by one singular point. It's really annoying what happened with Kevin Magnussen, to be honest, but I can't really change the results. I really hope that doesn't really come into, decide the championship. Hopefully we just beat Weber in the last race anyway, and it doesn't really come into it. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a three-way fight for the title. And it's set up to be quite an epic finale. So join me next time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where we will decide another championship. Hopefully we can make it back-to-back and yeah, set up a nice career that we've been working so hard to create over the last few months. That's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Really enjoying the career mode. It will not be stopping anytime soon. We're only just getting started. So until the next race, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'll see you next time.